Hello. Let's do a little exercise, so to speak. Before I begin my presentation, I want to make a brief lyrical digression, which in principle is not related to real estate, but is about some interesting facts that I want to share with you. First of all, I wanted to thank everyone who is here, and for those who are Orthodox, to congratulate you on Easter week, on Easter itself, and to tell you about a wonderful event, which is happening right now here in Mersin. Do you know, or maybe you don't, that Mersin is the place where the Apostle Paul lived? Are you aware of this information or not? So not far from Mersin, there is the city of Tarsus, which is also mentioned in the Bible as the city of Tars. And there is a UNESCO protected site where there is a miraculous well with holy water, and it is recognized as the birthplace of Paul. There we have a Christian church where festive services were also held during Easter week. We also have a very beautiful and mythological place. It is more than 2,000 years old, dating back to ancient Greece. This is the cave of heaven and hell. Even before Christianity, it was an occult place, and it appears in Greek mythology. It is mentioned as the place where a mother bathed her son Achilles, holding him by the heel. It is believed that this water is sacred and naturally completely protects you, rejuvenates, and gives you strength. But this water is not always there. Many years ago, this water was there, and I had the opportunity. Like Achilles, there are certain spots where you can, fully bathe in this water. And it gives you strength and fulfills all your wishes. I've taken down not just 1,000 people. I've been living and working in Mersin for 17 years, and already more than 1,000 people have gone down there. And believe me, I know hundreds of very good, kind stories about how people's wishes came true. And some people were lucky enough to bathe in this water, myself included. That's why all my wishes have come true and are still coming true. And after bathing in this water, I think that at 84 years old, I look pretty good. I should also mention that on the Saturday before Easter, a miracle happened to us. Right here in this underground chamber, which is 150 meters below ground level. There are steps here, 450 steps dating back to ancient Greece. There is also one of the first Christian churches there, the Church of the Virgin Mary from the 5th century. Of course, it is no longer active. It functions as a museum, but the altar areas have been preserved there. There are frescoes of the 12 apostles. And so on Saturday, before Easter, a miracle happened there. A spring of water appeared. And the flow was so abundant. This river bursts out from underground at a depth of 150 meters and disappears into the rock. And from there it flows out into the lagoon, a very beautiful lagoon, by the way, filled entirely with fresh water. The water there is always cold, and in this lagoon there is the only museum that was built specifically for a single fresco. You might know it if you went to school. It's in paragraph 36, 6th grade, where Aglaia, Thalia, and Euphrosyne, the 3 daughters of Zeus, are depicted in a mosaic. That very mosaic, the ancient Greek one, is located here in Mersin. So if you want to immerse yourself in such a wonder, come to Mersin, where all your wishes will come true and you can rejuvenate. Come to our mask festivals. The weather here is already wonderful. It's already 25 degrees here. We have mulberries. You can already eat strawberries for 100 lira per kilo. That's about 50 rubles per kilogram. They're grown in the ground, very tasty. And it's already warm and nice. The sea is invigorating. Well, for some people it's fine. For the locals it's invigorating. But you'll like it. I think we'll move on to the working part now. That was a bit of a lyrical digression. If I may, here's a short video about Mersin. I could talk about Mersin for a long time. I run a YouTube channel with 127,950 subscribers. All that's missing is you, so I can hit 128,000. I talk not only about the benefits of buying real estate, but also about how we live, where we relax, because I have 2 children who go to school. We visit all sorts of historical sites, of which there are many in Mersin. And so that you can at least get a visual impression of Mersin, we'll show you some pictures. This is our seafront promenade, 16 kilometers long, a wonderful place to hang out and relax. This is our Mersin Marina. This is what our promenade looks like. It's a large city with 2 million residents. And here is our new airport, which opened just a year and a half ago. Mersin means sandy beaches. These are mainly complexes by the sea. All the properties I will talk about are no more than 600 meters from the sea. These are the kinds of beaches we have. They are surrounded by citrus orchards. Mersin is the citrus capital of Turkey. At the same time, the entire coastline is developed, and Mersin is a city that stretches along the sea. The real estate options we work with stretch for 100 kilometers along the sea. The Maiden's Castle, one of the symbols of Mersin. There are many historical landmarks in Mersin because Mersin is a seismically safe region, and architectural monuments that are 2,000 to 3,000 years old have been preserved. A very beautiful temple, Alahan. Here's what I was talking about, the Cave of Paradise. Here is this fortress, the Church of the Virgin Mary, and this is the Cave of Paradise. And over there inside there is water. Now it has appeared. Thank you. Let me tell you about Mersin, what it goes with and why the prices are like this. Is it interesting or not to relax, buy or invest here? What is wrong with Mersin if there is something wrong there? What are the myths? Who buys, who rents? What is the market like? So that you get a bit of an idea. I will answer your questions. There isn't a question you could ask me that I wouldn't answer, because even ChatGPT refers to information on our website to highlight information there. I will explain why prices start from 33,000 euros, which is 3 million rubles, who buys, who rents, and what potential Mersin has, and what drives that potential, and why prices will rise. Let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Alexandra Sokolova, and I want to emphasize that I have been living and working in Mersin for 17 years. I am the founder, co-founder, and owner of the real estate agency Mersin. We are a leading real estate agency. We have our own office of 230 square meters, a large staff of employees, and a large fleet of vehicles. Any questions regarding Mersin real estate, living here, renting out property, obtaining a residence permit or citizenship, anything that might come up for you, you can resolve with our help. As I already mentioned, I'm also a blogger. For those who remember, this is what the YouTube button looks like. If you have mastered various apps, then welcome. You'll enjoy watching the videos. An investor, mother of 3 daughters and 1 son-in-law. More than 5,000 real estate properties have been sold by my team, and 127 so far without you, the subscribers. Join us. About Mersin, I want to emphasize that I could talk about it endlessly and passionately. You have to see it, you have to feel it. It really is very beautiful. Briefly, I'll say that it has a population of 2 million. It has a large university with 50,000 students, like your Moscow State University, where many foreigners study, including a high standard of medicine and excellent infrastructure for relaxation and entertainment. And there are a lot of natural beauties and historical landmarks here. Why is Mersin the perfect seaside summer house? First of all, you need to understand that it has all the infrastructure to make your stay comfortable at any time of the year. And this is a gasified district, a region where you will feel comfortable living, including in winter. In winter, it's 15 degrees Celsius here, and that's during the coldest time, January, February. In summer, it's 35. Nevertheless, it will be comfortable with gas all year round. We don't have crowds of tourists, and the price doesn't depend on your skin color. That is, the price is always the same for everyone. Everything is always accessible. Groceries are inexpensive, and goods are always in stock. A calm, measured city on the Mediterranean coast. For 9 months of the year, we swim without fanaticism, without ice swimming, without overdoing it. These are truly wide, good sandy beaches. It's a mild climate, we don't have high humidity, and summer is very easy to handle. During the summer, we practically don't see the mountains, they're always shrouded in mist. As I already mentioned, the cost of living is low and the quality of life is very good. There are no crowds of tourists here, and you can peacefully enjoy the seaside lifestyle. Mersin is a place where you can have your own spot by the sea. You don't need much to be happy. All the prices on the website are real. If you go to incommercian.com, all the prices you see there are accurate. A new, finished, move-in ready studio apartment of about 40 square meters will cost 33,000 euros. That's about 3 million rubles. The complex is completed. Let me emphasize, it's ready. You can already start enjoying your vacation here. In a week, we will furnish your apartment with furniture and appliances. And already this summer or during the May holidays, you can enjoy your own property. A one-bedroom apartment will cost you about 4 million rubles, and a two-bedroom apartment about 70 square meters. In your terms, a three-room apartment will start from 55,000 euros, or about 5 million rubles. If I were to ask myself now about vacationing by the sea, I would do the math. I have children, my youngest daughter in 7 years. In the next 10 years, I will need a summer house where I can take them, because when they grow up, they will stop being interested in vacationing with me and will go on their own. On average, renting an apartment by the sea for a month will cost you from 1,000 to 3,000 euros. If you multiply that by the number of years I would need this apartment, it comes out to about 10 years. I will spend vacationing once a year for 1 month from 10,000 to 30,000 euros over that time. If I want to vacation during New Year's, school holidays and so on, my expenses will amount to 30,000 to 90,000 euros. I want to emphasize that for the price of a month-long vacation somewhere on the coast, by the sea, you could buy an apartment in Mersin. This is money you haven't spent because spending is very easy. It's much harder to save money, grow it, and enjoy life in your own apartment. And if you no longer need the property, if your children stop going there, or you decide to change something in your life, I will gladly sell this apartment for you. I want to emphasize that clients who bought apartments from me 10 or even 15 years ago still come back to me. To preserve and grow your wealth. That is, you are buying an apartment. Usually, most often, our buyers purchase apartments for vacation homes in the range of 33,000 to 50,000 euros. For that amount, you can even buy an apartment that already comes furnished. You get to relax in your own apartment, and that is very important. You don't have to worry about where you'll stay or what things to bring with you. Everything is already there. Even your toothbrush is waiting for you in your apartment. You are not dependent on hotel prices. You arrive and eat what you want, when you want. And I want to emphasize that food in Mersin is very inexpensive. You can come not just for 7 days like on a package tour, but for as long as you can afford to take for your vacation. I should mention that the visa-free regime for Russian citizens is 90 days within half a year, but with a 60-day break. 60 days plus 30. For half the year, you can consistently vacation in your own apartment by the sea. With each trip, you save 2,000 to 3,000 euros on a seaside vacation. In 10 years, the cost of the apartment pays for itself. And by the way, during the periods when you can't be here, I manage apartments for rent. I rent them out for short-term stays. Studios are suitable for daily rentals. And my property owners, during the times they weren't living here, received income so they had money to live on, relax, and go to restaurants. The yield brings in from 5% of the property's value. Mersin, a factor in property value growth. Mersin is a market that is still in its growth phase and not yet as popular as you might wish. Prices are lower than in other resorts in Turkey, even those on the same Mediterranean coast. I'm not even talking about other resorts on the Mediterranean Sea. This is the new international airport that I waited for and finally saw completed after 13 years with 607 million euros invested in it. There are direct flights from 6 German cities, as well as from a number of other cities. And the airport's potential is still developing. This year, the opening of 16 international routes to Chukurova Airport is planned. Right now, we have a lot of foreigners interested in our real estate. This winter, we mainly sold to the European market. Just yesterday, my clients from Riga received their title deeds. Now, today, we will have a client from America receiving theirs. This winter, we had a lot of Polish and German clients, but that's probably also connected to the opening of direct flights from 6 German cities to Mersin. So Mersin is becoming popular, not only in the domestic market, but also among Europeans. Why are property prices in Mersin low right now? Let me emphasize that this is still an undiscovered place. Who among you has been to Mersin? Well, except for Irina, who bought from me, and Leonid, who also bought from me. Has anyone else been? You didn't buy from me because you already have one. Well, you see, only the owners. 3. Anyone else? You see how much work I have. If all of you had raised your hands, then the prices would probably be like in Monaco. It is oriented towards the domestic, tourism and permanent residents. Let me emphasize that most of our tenants are Turks and they are willing to pay more than foreigners would. Ankara is nearby, just a 4-hour drive on excellent highways, the capital of Turkey, the wealthiest region. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, but in fact, we don't have any major hotel chains. That's why you can't book a tour to Mersin, because not a single tour operator will offer it to you. But this gives our apartments the opportunity to be rented out at very good prices. I want to emphasize that the cost of rent in Mersin is the same as it would be in Antalya. But the prices for real estate to buy here are 2 to 3 times cheaper than in Antalya, and the returns are higher. There is no competition among hotels. The new Chukurova airport, I want to emphasize, is ramping up its operations and is still little known among foreigners, but this is already starting to change. And now, after 17 years of observing the real estate market, I see that prices are close to cost price. That's why now is an excellent time to buy, because there is a good selection at good prices. As a real estate agency, I scan the market and know reliable, reputable developers. I can offer you prices from contractors that are lower than those from developers, but unfortunately without installment plans. From reputable developers, you can get installment plans for up to 2 years, and there are also offers from private individuals, both Turks and foreigners. My goal is to make sure my client is satisfied and buys at the best price. Another myth circulating about Mersin is that there are no tourists and no rentals. Let me emphasize that the Turkish market is very strong. There are 85 million people living in Turkey. And for the most part, we sell the most expensive apartments to Turks. And it is Turks who pay the highest rents here. It is a major university and commercial center. During the summer season, I want to emphasize that monthly rent here is very expensive. And it is difficult to find a vacant apartment for the summer. People who are looking for real estate cheaper than in Istanbul and Antalya are buying here. Those are wonderful cities, but the cost of real estate there is quite high. Investors who are looking for markets in the growth stage are buying here, and mainly it is also the Turkish middle class purchasing their summer homes or permanent residences. Who rents? Long-term rentals are taken by port employees, business representatives, and during the resort season, families from other regions. What is the outlook for 2026? We have several factors that will increase real estate prices in the coming year, or in the next year prices will rise. I predict that already by this fall, our prices will increase by at least 30%. In the fall, I will also be speaking at the exhibition, mark my words. The strengthening of the airport factor. As I mentioned, 16 new destinations are planned, and there is an increase in foreign buyers, specifically those who come, enjoy their stay, and then decide to buy. The opening of the Mersin-Antalya highway section. This is a very important fact that we are witnessing with our own eyes. First of all, this highway is the largest southern transportation artery in Turkey. Right now it takes us about 6 to 8 hours to get to Antalya because the road runs along the sea, it's a winding road and many tunnels will be opening. And considering it's summer, we have a stretch of about 50 kilometers that in the summertime can take us to drive. 2.5 hours. I want to emphasize that Mersin is a resort city. And now a new section of road is opening for us called Çeşmelik from Kolezi to Oyol, which will shorten, it's an alternative to the D400 road that will reduce travel time in the summer from 2.5 hours down to just 18 minutes of travel, bypassing all these resort towns. Soon we'll be able to get to Antalya in just 4 hours. This section is opening and the road is being opened in segments which will generate more interest in Mersin and make it easier to reach from the western coast. The metro in Mersin, as befits a respectable city of 1 million people, is under construction. We are building a metro with 11 stations, which also adds to the attractiveness of our region. Let's move directly to the real estate properties. The photos are real and current. The property is completed and built near the sea, just 375 meters from the shoreline. There are several apartments available at attractive prices. Prices from the developer, without installment plans, range from 33,000 to 37,000 euros. I can offer about 10 apartments in this building. I want to emphasize that the building is already fully occupied. The gentlemanly infrastructure of our complex. A gated area, parking, generator, fitness center, barbecue zones, children's playgrounds, and landscape design. This is what our beach looks like out of season. All the infrastructure, shops, supermarkets, pharmacies, stalls, fish markets, and so on. The city beach. And this is what Kocakoysanlı is famous for, its campgrounds. I really love relaxing in this place, just coming here as a camper. To rough it a little intense, even though I live on the first coastline, Kocakoy Hasanrey has wonderful sandy beaches. The sand is fine, like flour. It may not be white, but it's grayish yellow, not very pretty, but very soft. It's a great setup both for living and for vacationing. What kinds of apartments are there? This is the actual view from such an apartment. By the way, with this QR code, you can go to the YouTube channel where there's a review of this specific apartment. Take a picture at home and enjoy. This apartment has this kind of layout. The kitchen area is fully equipped with a stone countertop. There's a spacious bathroom, one room, and a balcony with a direct sea view. The view is completely unobstructed. Again, I'll point out that there's a video tour of this apartment available via the QR code. The second option, let's say, offers views of both the sea and the mountains. Here's another layout option. Let's take a photo and then we'll take a look at it later. This is the layout of the apartment. It's a studio apartment, I want to emphasize. Take a look. It has its own walk-in closet and a bathroom of 4.5 square meters. The walk-in closet is 4.5. The living area is 20 square meters. It's a very well-designed layout, 45 square meters gross, 35 square meters net. No, it's comfortable for living, even for a family with one child. Apartments like these, I want to emphasize, I have options starting from 33,000 euros or 3 million rubles. There are also views like this. If we go back now to... This property also has a sea view and a mountain view from one terrace. It's just that the photos were taken in different directions. With such an excellent layout, the apartment is 45 square meters. It has an entryway and a large one at that. The bathroom is 4.5 square meters. There is a kitchen living room of almost 21 square meters and a terrace of 6 square meters. You can see a tour of this specific apartment via the QR code. Apartments are delivered fully finished in this format. All you need to do is bring in your furniture and appliances, and in 3 days you can already move in and enjoy life in your own apartment. I want to emphasize that this area is planned to be connected to gas in the future. You can see the radiators, laminate flooring, finished walls, a bathroom tiled throughout, a wall-hung toilet with bidet function, mirrors, cabinets, and a faucet. Everything is already installed. I want to offer you one more property. In the gasified Tece district, there is a new building that has been completed and received its occupancy permit with an available studio apartment. The complex features an indoor pool, an outdoor pool, a hammam, a sauna, and children's sports playgrounds. It's located near the sea, just 380 meters from a beautiful sandy beach. There is also a police sanatorium nearby. Gated territory, a wonderful apartment for 39,500 euros. By the way, it's suitable for short-term rentals. This option is excellent both as a business tool to earn income and as a place to come and relax at any time. Let me emphasize gasified district indoor pool. There are no other complexes in the area with an indoor pool and a hammam sauna, so it has a qualitative advantage. This is what the apartment looks like inside. A real sea view facing east. It comes with a kitchen set, a stone countertop, and a fully finished bathroom. You can also watch a video of this apartment using the QR code. A new complex. Let's move on to the 2+1 apartments. A new 2+1 apartment in a complex with a swimming pool and children's sports grounds. Located near the sea, 300 meters from the shore, and there's a bazaar nearby on Saturdays. In each district on a certain day of the week, do we have this? There's a bazaar where you can buy fresh vegetables and fruits, delicious ones, both not so expensive and very affordable. Here is a video via QR code along with a description of the complex's grounds and real photos. This is what the apartment itself looks like. It's on the second floor of a 9-story building, 77 square meters gross, with a living room, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a terrace and a balcony. The apartment is finished and ready to move in with good quality finishes and bathrooms fully tiled. And I want to emphasize that the price of this 3-room apartment is 55,000 euros. Which is about 5 million rubles. I am offering you a good apartment that you can move into and live in today. The 2+1 apartment is being sold with furniture and appliances, including spoons, ladles. Everything you need is already in the apartment. The complex has a rich infrastructure. It has swimming pools for children and adults, water slides, a hammam, sauna, fitness center, children's playgrounds and areas, barbecue zones, parking, a generator, and so on. Everything is at a high level. And all of this is right by the sea and with a sea view. Check out the tour of this apartment at the link. This is what the apartment itself looks like. The apartment is new. Almost no one has lived in it. It is being sold by foreigners who live far away. And in fact, they have hardly ever been there. Everything there is fresh. Everything is brand new. You don't need to invest anything in it. You just walk in, buy new toothbrushes, and enjoy life. Let me emphasize that it comes exactly as you see it, fully furnished and equipped with appliances. By the way, the apartment has a walk-in closet, a balcony, a terrace, 2 bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms. The area is 105 square meters. It's only 500 meters from the sea.